Café is in her second week of training with me now. So we did some field trips today. She is on the e-collar now, so we've added the e-collar to all of her behaviors. Now, she is a very sensitive dog. Maybe not as much physically. She is pretty sensitive physically, but she does get her feelings hurt. So we definitely had a couple days here where she did not like me because she was very offended that I do make her do things and that she can't just decide when to do things. However, today, as we can see from this happy wagging tail, things have changed a lot. So this is our first outing of the day. It's her second field trip ever. I did not record the first one because I thought I hit record and I did not. This session definitely took some warm-up time, but these next ones after it were definitely much nicer. It was also starting to rain a little bit, but if it's raining, it doesn't matter. We're still doing stuff either way. You will notice that I changed parks partway through this video. I just put park into my Google Maps thing and it sent me to this park, and as I was walking around I was like, wow, this place is really nice and it's in the middle of this big neighborhood. And then I started thinking, I wonder if this is a public park or a park for this housing development, and I googled it and it was definitely for the housing development, and I got really nervous about someone coming out and yelling at me. I see a lot of Karen videos on the internet, so we packed up and left after this session, and I moved to a park that my taxes pay for, so I'm allowed to be there. But she did really good. You can see her progress through this session and get better. Mostly we were just working on healing, some turns, things like that. Really, everything's about pairing the e-collar at this point. She didn't really have a good understanding of that. And just brushing up on those behaviors, and as I said, saying, hey, you do have to do things. And she's starting to figure out that she can do things and enjoy it at the same time. She's been kind of a little bit of a mopey girl, and there she's staring at the ground because I think the rain was getting in her eyes, so it was a good time to end the session anyway.
Thank you.
Teaching her this flip into heel was very much an uphill battle. She does not want to flip into heel. She is a little bit lazy in that aspect, and that's where she kind of got butt hurt with me and then just continued to be butt hurt, but now we've gotten over that. This is a prime example of a dog that would be very hard to train yourself, because we have a lot of emotion tied into our dogs. So when they do things like throw a fit because they don't want to do something and then they're mopey for a couple days, we feel guilty about that. And then they get away with it, and then it just continues to get worse because they learn that that behavior works. So what I'm doing with the e-collar right now, and she is, as I said, she is a little bit sensitive of a dog, so I'm not trying to go very high on my e-collar at all. This should not be a upsetting experience for her at all. I'm on level 1 low for the most part. I'm switching between level 1 low, and then if she really needs it, I'll do 1 high. I'm using the contact method where it's sit stim or heel stim, like right as I'm saying it, I'm adding in that stim as kind of a push into behavior. And then of course I'm also using it as, if you break behavior, I'm going to tell you no, little stim, put you back into behavior. Or she does like to be extra slow in her healing just because she wants to browse or not pay attention. So here I'm stimming. As soon as she gets back to my side, it turns off. So I'm encouraging her to hurry up and stay by my side. No, her sniffing isn't really like a problem for most people, but what they don't understand is that that's kind of a little bit of a relationship issue. If I put you into a behavior like heel, I expect you to stay with me and be listening to me and paying attention to me. We have a command called free that means do whatever you want. If I want to give my dog a sniffy walk, which absolutely give your dog sniffy walks, I'm gonna put her in free. So it's just really black and white what I expect out of my behavior versus what she can do in her own time. Especially for a dog like Café, where she is on the more stressed side. She has some dog reactivity going on. I don't want her browsing the magazines of scents on the grass and worrying about everything else. When I tell you to do something, I expect you to do it. And a big thing too for building up confidence is going to be having clear expectations of what I want in my commands. So I know that when I ask for a down is defined as both front elbows on the ground as well as her booty. The heel is defined as walking at my left leg and paying attention to me. So when you're training your dog at home, make sure you know what you're expecting out of your dog. Does your sit include barking and whining, or is your sit expected to be quiet and stable? And there's a good amount of distractions happening out here. You'll see to the left there are some firefighters having like a firefighter meeting. I don't know what they're doing. They've just been watching me train dogs for like 2 hours. And I'm working on her recall here, so I'm trying to get her a little distracted. She did kind of learn the game a little bit. But there's people kind of driving around, getting in and out of their cars. We're at a park in Liberty Hill, so there is a library right next door. There's a big highway you can see way in the back. Of course, the firefighter thing that's going on. And then in this next clip, we actually have a train go by, which I am very impressed with how she did, as well as how my dog did. I had my dog out as a distraction. So that was a very interesting experience that, you can't really train for deliberately, but knowing how to handle those experiences is going to be really important as a dog owner. I do often look disgusted in all of these videos. I'm actually having a very good time. I just have really bad RBF and I try to do better, but it's really hard. We have been training with treats for the past couple of days. As I said, she's been really unmotivated to train, just does not want to do it. So I don't want to put her on just plain dog food. I want her to have something to get excited for. Now that we're getting some classical conditioning going in these behaviors where she's genuinely enjoying them, I'm going to switch her back to kibble because we are concerned about her weight, obviously. Now there you saw she switched sides from my heel. I went back and fixed that, not only because that's not what my heel position is defined as, but because she was doing that to avoid my dog. Gracie's not doing anything. She doesn't need to avoid her. Gracie's just laying there being Gracie. So I want her to know that she can walk past that dog and not worry about it because I have her in heel. And it's really little things like that that a lot of people are gonna miss when training their dog. That makes a world of difference when it comes to building confidence. I think a lot of Café's problems stem from a lack of confidence and a lack of clarity, and that's what I see with a lot of dogs. So we're kind of just trying to really define our expectations and show her that, you don't need to always worry about everything, you just need to do your job. I got this new treat pouch, which I'm absolutely crazy about, by the way. And a lot of my dog friends who definitely will not watch this video because they don't really care about me training a client dog, they made comments on how big it is. And my response to them is I trained for 2 hours and had to refill my treat pouch 1 time. So you know what? Sometimes bigger is better, and I'm gonna continue enjoying my giant treat pouch because this thing's freaking sick. And if you are a dog trainer watching this, I got a little advice for you. So I absolutely have room at my house to be doing all this and training this. So there I corrected her. I told her no, I put her back in that sit. That's a bad Café. Anyway, I absolutely have room at my house to be doing all of this. There's a couple reasons why I'm trying to get out and go train other places more. One is going to be I have less control over distractions, so we can get more developed training that way, like trains and firefighter meetings. I don't have that at my house. But I'm also advertising when I'm out here. So if you read the book Sell or Be Sold, it's a really good book. Honestly, you can kind of just get the Spark Notes version of it. I felt like I did not need to read the whole thing. But he talks about, taking your lunch break in your office is a waste of your time and money because you're not out talking to people and networking. I go places that I get clients from, like parks, pet stores, hardware stores, stuff like that, because my product is the dog I'm training. So if you see the dog I'm training and you're like, wow, I wish my dog acted like this, as Café breaks her down, which we'll talk about in a second. I look at this, I know, look at that, that's not great, right? But we'll talk about it in a second. I go where my clients are, and I've absolutely had days where I've had to go back to my car for more business cards because people come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I want you to train my dog. Now, obviously, we're gonna bring the dogs that look pretty good. Maybe don't bring them the first day where they're whiling out on the leash, or if it's like a behavior mod that's going to, if it's gonna scream at every dog that passes. I still take it in public to work because it needs that, but I am not wearing my training shirt and I am parking far away. Anyway, talk about this. Café and I have not done a whole lot of down because down is kind of not as important for what we're needing, but I wanted to add e-collar to her down. So that's what we're doing in this session, and you're actually actively watching her wean off of leash pressure and onto e-collar only. Now earlier when I said this doesn't look good, we'll talk about it in a second. No, that doesn't look good. But that is her showing her personality of, I don't want to do this and I'm offended that you asked me. If I got freaked out and went, oh my gosh, she's not downing and the leash pressure, she's freaking out. If I release that leash pressure, she learns that behavior works, and it's going to be 10 times worse next time, and it's going to be even harder to fix. I'm not using very strong leash pressure at all. It's a light tug of the leash. You can see me gently pulling up on my leash. As soon as she completes the behavior, the pressure goes away. It is absolutely humane. Come for me in the comments. I love the engagement. But I'm stubborn with her because that makes her less stubborn with me. She's learning how to handle pressure and work through things. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I care more about my dog being able to problem solve than them performing a behavior correct every single time. Obviously, if she doesn't know a behavior and is constantly making the mistake over and over again, then yes, it's not fair for me to be asking what I'm asking. But you can see the fact that she had one rep where she was sticky like that and all of these other reps are looking great. It's less of a I don't know it problem and more of a I don't want to problem. So we're working on that I don't want to. So here the train's going by, so I just put her in a down. We're just gonna chill out while that train goes by, and I also wanna be able to reward my dog too. Gracie's trained to not need rewards during these sessions, but because the train was like literally right behind us and so close and honking its horn, I just wanted to make sure that she had a positive experience with that, so I'm just gonna kind of toss food over there because she did really great and she deserves a paycheck. So there she goes, downing just off of e-collar pressure only. Did she escape out of her skin? No, she did not get electrocuted and die. She's fine. E-collar stim can be actually less aversive for some dogs than leash pressure, and also vibrate as well. Some dogs really don't like vibrate, and honestly, I think that she might be one of those dogs because our first couple e-collar sessions, I did not record them, and even if I did, they were not getting posted. She did not like that at all. So we had to kind of recondition the e-collar. It's not always the no button. Sometimes it actually means go into behavior. So it should not be a super bad thing. My dogs see their e-collars and they're like, oh my gosh, we're about to go work. This is awesome. So, it's not always a bad guy. It's sometimes the good guy. But she had a very good session. Just wanted to get like one more rep in and then reward.